Well, hey, welcome to the show before the show. I'm your host, Patrick Marlette, and today we will be building starter '09 Yamato. '09 Yamato. So, oh boy, I bought this one a little while ago, as I do with all starters, and you might have noticed the tape still on it. We never got a used set of Yamato, and by we I mean everyone here in New York City. There were some people I saw play Starter Yamato when she came out. She's fine. At the time, the meta was kind of still slanted towards red, but so far as yellow was concerned, it was all about Lin Lin and moreover Katakuri. And Katakuri is still really prevalent. Yamato didn't really have the support for Land of Wano in this color then. However, OP05, OP06, which is what we're building for, there's a lot more support for Yamato. So, no searchers yet in yellow for Land of Wano. We have Momonosuke in green still, sadly. However, that doesn't mean we can't play with some Land of Wano cards that synergy well with her. And of course, like branch out to Skypiea, Big Mom Pirates. Anything else in yellow we want to touch on? Maybe some Merfolk. Who knows? But if it's good enough, maybe I'll wind up opening one of these two boxes. There are some good singles in here. Most starters, I'll just advise you pick up if they have mechanically unique cards in them. The upcoming Uta starter you can probably skip because it's just a bunch of really bad reprints. There's a handful of decent events and obviously the leader. But up until that point, pretty much all these starters had good stuff in them. However, sadly, this was like kind of slept on. So most people are going to be thinking about the green, yellow Yamato. Obviously, you get access to a whole lot more Land of Wano cards, the searcher I just mentioned, and some other utilities and goodies in green. But moreover, that Yamato has a double attack and like access to the banish Onami / a really good passive effect that you can use to add Dawn, Rested Dawn to people. It's absurd, and there's really good synergy for her. However, this one, I guess we'll get into in a second. But, how you guys doing? Dafun TCG? Yo, hi man. Hi. Hi Dafun. How are you? I'm stoked to get this build underway. I love building off meta stuff, as you might have guessed if you've watched any of the streams in the past here. It's just a little bit more interesting for me to see what we can do with decks that are underplayed or underutilized. And by decks, I really just mean the leaders. This game is very leader-centric. The leaders generally dictate the play patterns of the decks that you jump into. It's rare you play a leader strictly for its colors. And it's probably going to be less and less so that case moving forward as we get better cards, more synergies, more combos. Finally, there's like combo plays opened up in OP05. OP06 gets a ton of combo play in with 8 cost Gecko Moria. There's a ton of cool stuff you can do, stuff that excites and interests me personally. But yeah, damn, sorry about COVID. There's a little bit of a scare here with my wife. She was a little worried. She went to CVS, got her some tests. She's fine, but we have some friends that got COVID. It's still prevalent. I'm sorry to hear that though. 13th Dawn though. We've got some boys representing with some winners, well, a winner the other night, and some folks winning in OP05. I need to personally get out and get more practice in with OP05. I'm not going to lie. I'm much more interested in OP06. That's why we're building for OP06 today with Yamato. But yeah, good luck on your future tourneys and locals. I hope you get to go out and play soon. And hopefully with Yamato, I mean, we'll see. She's kind of okay. I'm a little excited for... You'll notice this border treatment. We're in Fishman Island here. I am personally watching Fishman Island, so that's why we've got this sort of... It's one of the like shots of the island from a distance. But moreover, we've got a nice little layout for our gameplay sessions. Of course, when we get into the games, I like to mute the chat and cover the chat, so we don't have to dawdle with that. Also, it keeps anonymity for whomever we're playing with. I don't think most players would care, but I do want to just play it smart, play it wise. So if you wanted to watch the channel, there will be not a lot of content. So if you wanted to, oh, well, good, plug the channel, Dafun. Or if you want to play on Sim, please let me know. Before we start this, I want to get a few housekeeping things out of the way. Guys, if you attend these live streams and you want to participate in the deck build, moreover than just constructing the list with me, you want to actually play test it or play against me, feel free to shout out in the chat and I'll send a link to a private game so you can play against me. But also consider this list of blueprints. Like, it's not always going to be this way, nor should it always be this way. We're going to be brewing for OP06, and if you have thoughts and ideas or opinions on how this should be built, please speak up during the live stream. That is the best way to get your input across. We can talk about the cards you'd like to include, possibly include them, or possibly remove cards that I've added. Like, whatever makes sense for the build, whatever makes sense for this deck, please just consider this a blueprint. With that out of the way, if you want to join the Discord to participate in gameplay in the future, feel free to do so. It's in the top 3 lines of text, so you shouldn't have to click hit more. If that link doesn't work, let me know. It should for like the next 7 days, so enjoy that. I've also been requested to leave the copy and paste like deck list so that you guys can copy it, add it to your clipboard, and place it in OPTCG Sim. That's what we're playing on. I will be doing that. You'll notice there's a spot also in the description for that. Okay? All right, all the housekeeping out of the way. For Yamato 9 cost. Yeah, decent suggestion. I got a gut feeling we're probably going to roll with the... It's a life gain effect, okay? That's probably the most important thing you can get out of yellow as a color, all the life gain. I really love like blue-purple crocodile for the 8 cost crocodile with that same kind of effect, right? Life gain on play, provided use a Broke's Work leader. Absolutely love it. Anytime we can utilize something like that that's also giving us value, like Yamato is really good because she's also removal. She doesn't always hit as high as you want her to, but depending on when she drops and the matchups you have, she can actually hit pretty high, excuse me. But I think at this point we could probably jump into what Yamato does and just discuss this leader, why it's kind of underplayed, and potentially what we can do with her. So, Yamato. She's 5k power, of course, 5 life, mono yellow. Add 1 Dawn on your opponent's turn. While your life area has 2 or less cards, this leader gains 1000 power. So it's like a reverse Katakuri, right? Except with a major hiccup. You need to have 2 or less life, but then the combat math changes. And as we've seen in the past, Whitebeard, very powerful, amazing red leader. And predominantly because it had like 6k power. It was very difficult for your opponent to play on curve while doing damage to you still. The issue is Whitebeard does damage to himself, which practically is just considered draw on that list. It's not so bad. We also have red, purple Luffy now, who's another 6K'er. It does change the math equation for combating those leaders. In Yamato, mid to late, will change that combat math as well. I don't know how useful this is, but we will get to leverage it quite a bit in the late game. And with all of the life gain effects that are out now in OP06, again, not here stateside, overseas. Hell, they're even going to see OP07 before us. So get hyped if you're over there. But for us, this is just us dreaming of the days where we're going to get to play some of these bangers from OP06, which isn't really that far away. But Yamato, what do you guys think we should do with her? I don't know. Probably some Land of Wano cards. There are some that care about your leader being Land of Wano. A majority of the good ones, not so much. And, you know, we can take a gander at those cards now. I'm happy to start this one up if you guys are ready, because we're going to go over a deck profile with her, build this out, discuss the, obviously, play lines and strategies for the list, but what we should be doing on curve, whether we're off play or on play, and then get into some games. I like to play 3 to 4 games a session, and we try to keep these under 2 hours. So realistically, I know not everyone stays for the whole thing. If you're watching this as a VOD, you could skip ahead. I will add time signatures for you guys. But if you guys are ready, hey, I'm Patrick Marlette, your local game guy, and today we'll be brewing Starter 9 Yamato. She's mono yellow. She's A-OK. If you've been here the whole time, well, thanks. If you guys want to play or participate in future gameplay, feel free to attend the lives. If you're able to, take a break from your work, pop up OPTCG Sim, and let me know, and we can play a few rounds together. I think that'll be a great way to test and obviously have a conversation on the list we're building. But why don't we look at some of the starter cards from her set? So Yamato starter 09. We got Uzuki Tempura. A lot of these cards, you know, it doesn't necessarily like this subtyping or this tribe. We can't search for or tutor for in any way in these colors. Kazuki Odin in green can find Land of Wano characters. I think they need to be green. I forget. I could be wrong, but we're not in green, so it's irrelevant. And I don't even know if we would want to use that as a top end. This guy's fine, though. There are life setup cards in OP06. So there are ways to put Uzuki back on top of her life and get this trigger again. So rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 2 or less and add this card to your hand. So normally when you get a trigger, the trigger card will just go to your trash. So, you know, there is a downside to utilizing it, but this is a minor effect and you get to put the card in hand. It's a 1k in hand and it's a 4 for 5. These are okay stats. I don't think it's good enough. 4 for 6 ulti. Love the art. About as much as I can say about that card. While you have 2 or less cards in your life area, this character can't be KO'd in battle. It's a 4 for 5. Again, it's on the lower end of the spectrum here. It's not going to do that much work late game. Kazuki Odin is fine. This is another double attacker. You're better off just playing the green-yellow Yamato if you want a double attacker. It has an on-KO effect, so generally speaking, you will get value out of the on-KO effect here unless your matchup is with a blue list. They'll probably rely on some bottom decking effects. Dracul Mihawk is still prevalent. It's a 9 for 9k. It's perfect on play when you're on curve, on play, and you'll get to your 9 Dawn turn. If you Kazuki Odin out and use your 1 Dawn, like say it's your 8 Dawn turn, to Dawn up Yamato, this logic's right, they could just Mihawk your Kazuki Odin, which really hurts. And if it's Sakazuki, the math changes even further, but Sakazuki can reduce an 8 cost to a 7 cost, and you can hit even higher, get those 8 costs Katakuris out of the way. Things that we could potentially be playing. Kazuki Odin is fine. I've played with him in a separate build before. I forget which one, but if you've followed these live streams, you might have noticed that build. It does pull weight when it lands and it sticks, but I don't think an OP06 meta really cares for this guy, sadly. So I'm not going to use it. 2 for 4. There is no Zoro-esque build in yellow yet, so these 2 for 4s are maybe not great. And usually you wouldn't load your deck with these anyways. Shinobu, a 3 for 2k on block. You may add 1 card from the top of your life area to your hand. This character gains 4,000 power during this battle. So it's a really quirky blocker, and I wouldn't say a good one. But this does let us off turn, again, change the combat math on our blocks. So basically, if you get swung at with a vanilla character, 5k. 5k is vanilla in this game, right? Most leaders are 5k. So if you get swung at by a vanilla character and she blocks, you can elect to basically take the damage you would have taken anyways, and then go up to 6k to prevent that vanilla attack. However, it could put you in range for Yamato to be 6k power afterwards, so changing future attacks on that turn, making your opponent allocate Dawn in funny ways. Is this good? No. Glad we had that conversation, though. 5 for 6k, Shimotsuki. English is my native language, excuse me. If I get any of these names wrong, let me know how they're pronounced in the comments. But for 1 Dawn when attacking, you may add the top card of your life area to your hand. Play up to 1 yellow Land of Wano type character with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. So this Zoro lookalike is fine. We are mono yellow, so it's not like we don't have plays off of this. I like cheating effects quite a lot. I have tried all of the cheat in leaders. There's a really good Gecko Moria video on the channel. I'm just gonna say it. I like that deck a lot. I think that's a good build. There are obviously variations on that build, and I'll encourage you to do with that what you will. But I've played Doflamingo, I've played Arlong. They're all great. Losing a life to do this, mind you, you are getting another potential opportunity. If you have a life setup effect, you know, you could just know that the thing on top of your life area is a 4 cost that you want to play. And there are amazing 4 costs now. Let me just point out the one. There are amazing 4 costs now. She is fantastic. She's probably one of the better cards in yellow right now. So, you know, you could utilize this to set her up and then have 2 6Ks online. I think that there might be room for him, but I'm not entirely certain. We'll see. Mono yellow does change the equation a little bit, but I feel like we'll probably do a split between Big Mom Pirates and Land of Wano. We'll see. I've got no real direction for this one yet. As you can tell, Yamato doesn't really care for a specific tribe, but there are only so many in yellow. Yellow is still the newest color, relatively speaking. Okay. Kept one of your opponent's characters one or less. This is fine. You still see like the 1 cost blocker laws, the 1 cost blocker beige. You see a bunch of those still. So you get the opportunity to kill them and then put this into hand, which it's probably going to be a 1k in hand, basically, for its lifespan. I don't know if you really want to play this card out, but you could. Podcast D-Ace is fine. If it would die once per turn, this is your turn and your opponent's turn, so there is flexibility with this effect. It's a 6 for 7k. You can trash 1 card from the top or bottom of your life area instead. He's fine. Again, most of these cards are fine. There is a 2k Land of Wano card here that's notable. It's Yamato. 3 for 3k. You may add the top card of your life area to your hand. You gain 2,000 power until the start of your next turn. So she's a virtual 3 for 5 if you neg a life. It's a little bit better though. You're not having to trash this. You get to draw a card and then you have a 3 for 5 out of a 2k. I wouldn't want to play her out. Frankly, you want to cheat her out with some effects, maybe like this guy, if you think it's relevant that you have the body to attack later, but that will be a rare occasion if it ever pops up. So far as events are concerned, there's a couple of good events here. The tap down event is probably one of the better ones. This is game changing in a lot of cases. It's only 2 Dawn, so it's very easy to hold up, but one of your leaders or characters gains 3,000 power this turn, 2 for 3 power. 2 for 3k, I should say. So this is sort of like the mirror of Houndblaze from the same set, OP05. Except in this instance, instead of bottoming a thing, if your life is 1 card or less, rest up to one of your opponent's characters at the cost of 4 less. This is fantastic late game. It's kind of fantastic early game too. You don't really want too many, but a 2 for 3, it does change the math, right? So you're getting basically 3 Dawns worth of power out of a 2k thing, but it also has a good trash effect, one of the better ones in yellow, getting to trash 2 cards and then adding a card from the top of your deck to your life, right? So life gain attached to triggers, always valuable. This effect always valuable because a lot of blockers are still in that range. One of the better ones, at the best one, I'm just gonna say it, the best blocker, 4 cost Borsalino, still taps that down. So you sort of get around that pest. I like it a lot. Again, I don't know how many Sky Island cards we throw on the list, but this is certainly one of them. I'm going to put everything at 4, and then we'll shave down as we go along. I know my hat is covering things, but we're only at 5 cards, right, with our leader. So don't worry. Once we get there, I'll let you know, and we'll cut things out. There's also Reject, which is really solid. I don't know if this deck cares about Reject, but it kills a 5 cost or lower character. Or you can deal 1 damage to someone with 1 life, then add the top card of your life to your hand. It also has a draw trigger. God, this card is good. This card is really good. It's very broken in L. It's a really, really good card in L. It is played in competitive lists. I don't know if we want it here, but I don't think it would hurt to consider it. Again, we're probably going to go with a minor Skypiea package. So we'll look into those cards right about now. There's only so many cards we need to look at from OP03, which is where yellow was introduced. Again, I don't know how big of a Big Mom Pirates package we're going to have. The way it's leaning right now, so far as events are concerned, things like Thunderbolt are still playable, but they're becoming more... They're kind of getting outshined by some newer cards. You know, it's still great. It's still really cool if you hit it off life. It's still fantastic. Obviously, Reject kind of replaces this in many ways. It's a much more costly, you know, I was going to say spell event, but it's still, they're still both playable, but Reject's kind of the new bread and butter for a list. And if we go that route with Skypiea package, I wouldn't mind adding, there is a Skypiea searcher. It's this sucker right here. Look at the top 5 cards of your library. Reveal a Sky Island card, and then add it to your hand. Return the rest to the bottom of your deck in any order. We could use this as a potential searcher to help us hit some core cards, and then pad out the rest of the list with Land of Wano. I think that's maybe where we go, because things like Gadatsu are extremely playable. The Alm Holy package is quite good. The other half of that being, right... Where can I find him? He's right there. If you have 2 or less life, this character gains 1,000 power. He just gets exceedingly good. This guy by himself is fantastic. If you've not faced an Enel, then, well, you haven't played much One Piece then. Right now, Enel is very, very prevalent. I feel like every single locals, speaking of locals I go to, there is going to be someone on Enel. And so far as my play group is concerned, there's plenty of guys on Enel. Alm and Holy is really good, as it turns out. You know, getting to search your list for a particular card is meh, but mind you, if you don't hit it off the top 5, it doesn't matter, because if you have the card in your hand, you can play the card. So if you have a hand that has Alm and Holy, that's fantastic. You know, maybe you should consider keeping it. And as a bonus, you might get an additional Holy off the top of your deck, which basically reads free 1k power on Crackback, right? And then you get a 6k later on and a 5k out of hand. It's almost like the Ulti Page 1 package, but better. If you don't know the 2k counter Ulti in purple, this is pretty much like a better version of that. But I think we could probably go, let's just commit to this. Let's commit to a minor Sky Island package. I want to have that as a 2k. This is 25 cards. I say minor. We're going to use a little bit of this package. We did skip past, I'm sorry, I did want to grab that Yamato as was mentioned. She's right here. But my thought is, this Enel is really sticky. I know it's not as favored when it comes to the top end of yellow right now. Things like the Yamato, things like Katakuri are what's in season. I still like this Enel though. I think having this kind of aggression near the late game will be important for this list, because we want to threaten their board, I think, more over anything. We're not gonna, I don't know how many blockers we're actually gonna run, but we want to remove their board and make, you know, their attack lines as minimal as possible. I think that this Enel could be viable in this deck, and it's sticky because it's rare that there's a character Luffy in play unless you're playing red specifically and you just have to suffer 5-cost Luffy. That card is extremely prevalent still. Well beloved, extremely good. My god, red nowadays, it's so interesting playing against red, because Diable Jam is like carrying red list in Straw Hat builds. And I've been playing for a while. I've been using Diable Jam for as long as I've been playing, and it's so good. And it's nice to see people on that card as part of their package, but frustrating to go against because it just makes blockers shit. So any list you have that's going to turtle up, doesn't matter. 5-cost Luffy, doesn't matter. This Enel is good though. I don't know. It's like I'm looking at it as if it were a form of removal, which is nice. I think that we can consider Shirahoshi from this earlier set as well. We need some form of card advantage. The Olins are cute. I think the Olins are cute was one of the newer cards potentially for us. Maybe we're on 2 of her. We don't have a way to filter those out of our hand though. It's kind of the issue. But where is Shirahoshi? So she's great. She's really good with Katakuri. We'll see if we use an out. We're going to go over the 50 card mark here, I'll tell you that. And then we can sort of just go from here and carve out the list we actually want to play from here. We're going to add a few more 2k counters, don't worry. So don't consider this complete in any sense. Look at the top 1 card of your opponent's life area and place the card on top or bottom of your life area. Okay, she's fine. I think that we'll use her as another searchable 2k, right? So something we can hit off of Shura. I don't know that she's the best, though. If there are better 2Ks, please let me know. I don't play too much yellow. This right now is sort of the 2K in yellow, though. I can tell you that. Based off of all the list I see running it, Kazuki Hiyori is highly playable. And I mean, like, playable. Like you're going to have her in your list and you're going to run her out, because her on play lets you put the top card of your life area, or bottom card, into your hand. Then you usually, unless you have information, it doesn't really matter which one you put in your hand, but in my opinion, you take it from the top or the bottom. If you are aware of what's at the bottom of your life and you know it's better like in hand, then take it. But put up to one card from your hand on the top of your life pile. So she makes Lin playable, right? That Lin I was referring to earlier. Olin, I should say. So if you have one or less card in your life area, you may play this card. So if you have 2 cards in your life area, when you play Kazuki Hiyori, you can set up Olin very easily. And you can set up both the top, you can make the rest of your life Olin, which is amazing. Like a 7 for 7k face value kind of sucks. You want to play this for free. If you can cheat this out, it's amazing. I've seen some people manipulate this well. It is Land of Wano. Again, if we ever got a searcher in yellow for Land of Wano, if I'm missing this, if there's a searcher in for Land of Wano in yellow, please let me know. But it would be really cool to be able to just get that out, place it, cheat it in. Beige is another good 2k we can consider for the list. I like having 2 searchable 2ks though. And maybe we switch that. We might not even need this many 2ks, mind you. We'll probably reduce the count. But let's look at our Land of Wano friends to see what we're rolling with. If there's anything we want to play Land of Wano wise. Okay. So we've got our Yamato. That's pretty obvious. She's pretty solid. We don't have any blockers, but we could add blockers. Really, it's just Brule is still highly played because you just cheat it out. It's a free action and it's a free blocker. And it does shape games sometimes. Like if that's the last card in your life, lucky you. Also, it could stunt like that final blow. It's very good in a now. Could potentially be good here. If your opponent has 3 or less cards, you can play this card. These trigger cards are really prevalent, and you're going to see a couple of them. They're really prevalent in OP06, and they're really good. I haven't read this one though. You may discard 1 card from your hand, kept one of your opponent's characters with a cost equal to or less than the number of your opponent's current life. Okay, so it's cool. That means you're swinging 7k over 5k, so no matter what, it's going to be a 2 for 1 unless they're holding in an event. And, you know, it could be like a guard point. It could be anything. It's fine. I don't like effects like this attached to characters attacking anymore. Generally, people gravitate towards on-play effects for the immediacy of the effect. Having a wait means that you're giving your opponent the opportunity to remove this 4 for 5, right? And elsewise, you know, you would really only want to see this off the trigger. And it's quite good in green, yellow Yamato because you get them down to, if they have 5 life, which most lists do, you can get them down to 3 life very quickly if you get an attack off and it lands with Yamato. So this is okay. There. This is fine here. I wouldn't want to play it. Onami's amazing. I like her a lot. I don't even care. Like the tribe is irrelevant. I think she's really good. 2 for 3k, meh. But give one of your leaders or characters banish this turn. Really good. It's normally when you give the green, yellow Yamato banish with Onami, you are going to try to defend against this. You'll drop the counters to make sure you don't have to, you know, discard basically 2 cards from your life. It's the trigger on her that's also really good though. I don't understand the rate here. They clearly like Nami. We all do, right? But KO up to one of your opponent's 5 or lower cost characters attached to a 2-drop that gives on play banish and is a 1k counter. Kind of grossly effective by itself, but that trigger is amazing. This trigger is so damn good. And it's really good in this list when you compare it, you know, with anything that's going to put cards from your hand on top of your life. If you have a way to return this to your hand and you have a Kazuki Hiyori again, you can set this up and it will remove like a majority of boards. Like 5 or lower is a lot of so many decks. This is going to hit so many threats. She's fantastic. I really like this card. And it's used in a lot of yellow lists. I think it's safe to say we can probably include it here and get away with it. This guy's okay. You may discard 2 cards. I don't want to discard 2 cards. She's really good. Okay. Kikunojo. On KO, so blue, have a field day with this. She's a 4/6. If your opponent has 3 or less life, place the top card of your deck to the top card of your life. This is horrible. It's like the Magellan effect, right? You don't want to have to contend with the 5-cost Magellan because you're going to have to neg 2 Dawn. So, try to make the most out of it. Try not to lose your sanity. Here, gaining life is a real setback for your opponent because it's, in a Nell, this is pretty gross because you can basically get yourself further away from Death's Door in this instance. Here, it's also going to be greatly effective because it gives us a little bit of longevity. It is kind of counter to what Starter Yamato is doing. Obviously, she will thrive later on when you have 2 or less life. But I don't mind. I don't mind this as let's just call it a setback. I don't mind this as a setback. It's quite effective for the list and quite effective if you're playing in yellow. She's great. She's a new staple, I would say. Also, she's trigger playable when your opponent has 3 or less life, which late game, damn, I'm so happy to see her. Obviously, the only detriment is the fact that she doesn't have counter power, but is that bad? You live with it. I'll live with it. I accept. It's okay, Kikunojo. 3 for 5, Genbo. Vanilla characters aren't played too often anymore. I think there's just too many, outside of Holy. There are too many good cards in the game right now to where their effects warrant play. We're having a vanilla 3 for 5 with a 1k counter or 4 for 6 or whatever. It just doesn't really cut it. We can skip on Genbo, even though he's searchable. We added Hiyori. We did not look at Kazuki Momonosuke though. So 5 for 6k blocker. So there's that magic range of blockers. 5 cost 6k blockers, but what does this one do? Wow. Place up to one of your Land of Wano type characters other than Kazuki Momonosuke on the top or bottom of its owner's life area, face up. So we're privy to what we're going to trigger, but does it really matter? If we have a board that is flush with Land of Wano, which we don't necessarily with what we're representing here, we're able to give ourselves a little bit more longevity and a potentially really good trigger playable. Do I wish that this Nami were Wano? For sure. Oh, definitely. But that's okay, because there might be other playables for us with Kazuki here. So right now, the Sky Island package is heavy. And we've got Minor Wano, we've got Mermaid, and Big Mom Pirate with Katakuri. We could probably cut the Katakuris down or just remove them entirely. There are a handful more things we want to look at first, though. There is this Wano Zoro, who's amazing. He's a 4 for 5. KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 4 or lower. Oh, yeah, Nami. Just better. Just leagues better. Explain that to me. But, yeah, this promo, pretty solid. He happens to be Wano. I think that this could be a potential contender in the list. Like, I don't mind playing this on curve and then later just adding it to my life and then, killing a thing with it. Like, so get your value out of it on the play. Get some damage in potentially. Play Kazuki. Get life. Get a kill. This sounds like a good combo for us. I'm going to add that. Again, we're going to be cutting cards momentarily. None of these promo cards are relevant for us. There is, though, a few more Wano cards we can consider. We're not going to consider Hitetsu, but Denjiro is one that's quite good. This is played in the other Yamato. This is something we can consider here. Obviously, it's better there because of Yamato's effect, but is she visible here? She should be. Yeah, activate once per turn if your opponent has 3 or less life attached to Rested Dawn to one of your characters. This is amazing. Attaching Rested Dawn is very much a red thing, or it had been up until now, so Yamato breaking the color pie to allow for this type of effect is amazing. And there's a lot of really good cards that care about having Dawn attached to them. So what she allows you to do is play on curve and effectively utilize your Dawn, or more effectively, I should say. She's really good. And Denjiro's in that list because very obviously he's sticky as hell. He's also playable off trigger. How many no-K counters do we want though? Maybe not enough to consider Denjiro, but I don't hate it. I really like it on curve. Obviously, you know, it's just better, frankly, in the green-yellow Yamato, but it's still fine here. I'm going to exclude it for now, though. This character can also attack your opponent's active characters. I see people playing this in green-yellow Yamato as well. It's trigger playable. We like trigger playables. I think this is fine. I think that this might go into an R-long list or the other Yamato list, but not this list. I said the one stage and the one, we're not on any stages. I'm not sure that Braham is played, but you can let me know if there's a deck list that you like that is playing it. Discard a card from your hand, hate that. Rest when your opponent's done, seems awful. Definitely in the common slot. So, you know, she might be a blocker, but unlikely. And then lastly, on play, return one, yes, stage. Again, stage effect. So the things to consider outside of the Yamato starter are some of the Linlin starter cards. 7 for 8 cost Linlin, 7 cost for 8 power Linlin, I should say. She's amazing. She's still amazing. This is sort of a non-choice. It sucks in either case, but it's generally free damage. You're not trying to give your opponent life for potential trigger activations. It's just never a good feeling. This is extremely potent though, and probably playable in the list, so let's go with it. And lastly, I mentioned Brûlé. I like that we don't have any blockers here, but blockers are kind of relevant. Let's go without blockers, see what life is like. Let's do a blockerless build. So we've got 73 cards in the list, which means we need to cut 22 cards, folks. But before that, guys, hopefully you're enjoying the video. Let me know if you're enjoying this experience just talking through cards. Hopefully it's helpful for you. Feel free to ask any questions about the deck as we go through this. And if you have your own starter yellow Yamato list and you're on OPTCG Sim, it's very easy to copy and paste said build in the comments after this video releases as a VOD. That way we can follow along and playtest your own build. But I'll, again, leave a copy and pasted deck build in the description here. So if you want to test it, like immediately, you just need to refresh your YouTube page and check it out. If we go Brûlé, wouldn't we go Blocker Sanji first? Not necessarily. So Blocker Sanji, that's in reference, came from the accompanying set. I should say OP04, excuse me. You have to trash a card from your hand to play this, and it's a 4 for 5. So most of the removal that will hit Brûlé will also hit Sanji. There's a few things that will just murk Brûlé over Sanji, though. And I'm thinking like endgame stuff like 9-cost Whitebeard and whatnot. So there are instances where Sanji is just clearly better, but Brûlé, the difference being, and why we still like Brûlé, is the fact that she's just trigger play, right? So we don't need to lose any cards from hand to get the effective blocker. Right, so we're going to give ourselves a little bit more options so far as plays next turn and or counters in hand. You know, depending on how many no-K blockers or no-K counters rather we have in hand, it could be useful to consider Sanji over, because we wouldn't mind like having to ditch an NL or ditch a Katakuri if we just don't have use for it in hand. But there are still good reasons to just go with Brûlé instead. And it depends, like if you're on a Big Mom package, which we aren't really with what we're looking at, Charlotte Brûlé is searchable and oftentimes very playable, right? It's also a nice setup to do Brûlé off of the Hiyori, especially when you're low on life and you just know you need the blocker for some potential crackback. So I like it a lot. Again, you know, things like I was talking about earlier, this Amaru, this is still going to hit Sanji or Brûlé. So in this instance, like in this matchup, it's largely irrelevant which blocker you choose, which trigger playable blocker. But those are sort of the two big ones though. And thanks for bringing up Sanji. I don't really have a preference. The reason Sanji is better is obviously its power value. It can be used as an attacker late game. So consider it for that, if anything. Okay, I don't own Katakuris, and I will not advocate buying Katakuris at $80 a pop. So I'm going to remove Katakuri and see if we can do anything without him. Oh, Capone 2K is generally good as a 4 of. Yeah, I did bring it up earlier. Capone is nice off the life. You don't really give a shit about him in your hand outside of the 2K potential, obviously. You're not going to play him, but up to one of your opponent's leaders or characters cannot attack during this turn. This is basically your third trigger blocker. The way this reads is basically saying you have a blocker for an oncoming attack. The only difference being your opponent doesn't have said leader or character tapped, right? Which is relevant in some instances. If you're in green in particular, 10 cost Doflamingo loves like icing out characters, just locking them off from being playable ever. So, you know, Capone in a list like that, maybe not as good, like letting them get their options out there and then stopping them while they're tapped, relevant. Here, for us in mono yellow, it's good. I mean, this is certainly a better 2K than Isa. The only reason we're on Isa is it's searchable, but I think really we're more interested in Satori as a potential searchable 2K. So I'm happy like taking out Isa and leaving in Capone. I think we can have one blocker, virtually speaking. Shirahoshi's fine. We're gonna cut her down to 2. Again, you know, Kazuki Hiyori doesn't care about the tribe of the character, so we're able to set up whatever we want. And if she did, then you would have to reveal the thing, right? So obviously, mechanically speaking, there are reasons why they made her so easy to utilize. But Shirahoshi we can cut down to 2. I definitely want the beige. I'm happy with that. I like the Yamato. I like the Yamato at 4. I think we want to see it. We you know, we don't have any. We do now. Okay, so if you have 0 life cards, put the top card of your deck onto your life pile, then trash 1 card from your hands. Damn, that's really good. You're the one who should disappear. So I like adding 0 cost events in decks that have a lot of no K counters in hand, because what it does, like late game, if you just get, you never know how your hand is going to work out. It's a TCG, right? So you try to build to mitigate bricking, right? Drawing too many cards that you just don't need. But if we happen to pull like just a hand flush full of Yamato, being able to convert this card with no counter power into 3K power makes it a really good 2-for-1. Because in a lot of instances, you know, where someone's swinging at you for 7K, or let's just say 8K in this Yamato's case. Let's say they're swinging at 8 because we're at 6K power. And I'm locked out. I just have Anels in my hand. So I'm able to utilize something like You're the One Who Should Disappear to make this trade a 2-for-1 like it was going to be, like a 2K counter, a 1K counter from hand, by ditching this instead, right? I know these look bad because you have to trash a card from your hand, but if you have a bunch, or if you've just bricked and just don't have any other counter power in your hand, this will convert cards into counter power, or convert things up. Right, let's just say that you only had the 2K, the 1-2K, that you only had the 1-1K, right? So ditch the Onami, ditch this, and then you sort of get out of jail free. I forgot that this was added in OP06. I don't know if we necessarily want to play it. I would prefer like we get triggers that just kill threats, right? That's sort of the better solution in my opinion. Or Capone, we just remove threats, potential threats. But I like the idea of that event. I think we'll stick with that. We'll go down to 3 or 2. 2 of the NL. Let's do 2 of the NLs. I want to do 3 of the Linlins. I want the Holy package fully loaded. I don't know that there's enough for this Kazuki. Oh, I said no blockers, right? We're getting rid of that then. Zoro's fine. But our 4 slot is pretty heavy right now. So if we look at it, our turn 2 could be a 3 to 4 drop. He's not bad. We really want to play out Kikunojo. We don't have any 3 costs to play out. So really that turn is going to look like either Holy or just dawning up and attacking, which isn't bad. Or Shura and attack for 6, whatever. We can get rid of the Zoro. It's not going to be very accessible stateside anyways. So I'm oddly building with availability in mind. Don't really consider that if you're building and you want to win games. You'll do what you can to get the cards to win said games. But I'm building with availability in mind today. Gadatsu's great. For some reason, people always seem to have this in hand on curve to remove my shit. So, I don't know, maybe it'll work out for us just the same way. I think that we can leave Gadatsu at 4 as well. I'm going to try to remove other things first. Let's go for Reject at 2. Amuro at 3 as well. We need to remove 2 cards from this list. I like Enel at this count. I feel like it is kind of low, but that's okay. I think we can reduce the Onami count potentially. She's such a good trigger playable. Let's reduce the Onami to 3, and we'll reduce the Linlin to 2 as well. Right now, we've got a lot of 2K counter. We potentially don't even need this much. Wait, am I screwing with you? Wait. We've only got 8 2K counters. No, we've got 12. That's a lot more than I would generally encourage you run. So let's actually take out the beige and reintroduce another Linlin. Let's do that. Generally speaking, the count of 2K's counters in hand, or 2K counters in deck rather, have gone down in recent date. You can consider like 2 full play sets of 2K counters a good count, but 8 to 12 is generally the sweet spot. 10 being what I see most commonly with like decks that are winning tournaments. I think we can go down by this much. I really wouldn't even mind taking out another Capone to go like another Enel or any other utility, really. I like Enel, though, as a value prop for us. Just a good way to remove things off board. It could be Enel or it could be another Reject. Let's try this. Okay, so this is starter Yamato. I'm going to go ahead and copy deck list to clipboard, and I'm going to provide this to you guys in the description. So all you need to do is copy and paste said deck list to your own OPTCG sim. I've just saved it. I believe you're going to have to refresh your computer to get, or your phone to get this to pop up. I don't know if you can play sim on phone, so don't even bother if you're not on your computer right now. But guys, that's the list we've built out. Is it perfect? Probably not, but I do want to give it a few cracks, see if it's any good. We'll remove cards as we see fit. But I'll highly encourage you, if you guys are enjoying this live stream, to feel free to leave it with a like. These likes go so far into helping the channel. Trust me, I really appreciate it. Lets me know I'm doing something right here as well. So we're going to go ahead, play the shit out of somebody. Let's go. I need to add this. Okay. Again, we're OP06. Guys, if you want to participate, again, I encourage you, let me know now, and so that we can play against one another. I'm going to try to play against a diversity of list. Hopefully we see some that stick. Again, when you play things that are off meta, I generally find people will just dip. Hopefully they stay. I've also, if you were here for the recent live stream fiasco where OPTCG sim did not want to work for me, I'm hoping we got over that hump. I've been playtesting this morning. I have a pre-recorded video in the works for you guys on Perona. So if you're excited to play Perona in OP06, I'll have a complete strategy for her laid out for you guys with gameplay. Just, it's fun getting that out for you. But that's next. Hopefully it works for that video. Hopefully it works now. If anything, sometimes, like, I've noticed it's on a case-by-case basis, but I've had a lot of issues with Sim recently. Again, it's free software, so I can't complain. But sometimes you need to refresh to make sure, like, you get into, like, if your lobby's visible. But also I've found that it's just been really hinky for me with touch controls. So hopefully it'll work out for us. Man, I like the Capones being in here. I'm excited to see how the Enels play. We'll go second. And is this a good hand? No, it's not a good hand. This is better. Yeah, we've got plays. We've got Shura to play on turn 1. And we have Kikunojo to play soon. She just drew Vinsmoke Niji. I've played against a few of these Reijus. I don't really know how they like to operate, but we'll find out together. Ooh. Gedatsu will be really good moving forward. Let's do that. If any of these things, I want to see these two. Not that we're going to get to that point. Okay. And we'll see. I doubt I'll see the bottom of this deck. If you've not played an OP06, which is what we're doing now, your expectation from Vinsmoke Reiju is a lot of comboing. She's going to play out a bunch of characters that turn into bigger characters, which will actually be a little difficult for us to contend with. I don't have a 2K counter in hand, do I? Yeah, we'll eat this. Oh, Yamato. Okay. So let's just go ahead. They know we have the Gedatsu. That's fine. We're going to swing for 5K. Just vanilla. They can counter out should they like. Okay. I really love that card. We're going to play this little card. I'll pass. So they are in blue. There are bottom effects accessible for them. So Kikunojo might not go as far as we'd like. It's also important to note that if she's KO'd before they hit 3 life, then, you know, they're in a good spot. It shouldn't be problematic for them. Vinsmoke Reiju likes to draw a shit ton of cards. So we're going to see them with a flush hand pretty much the whole game. Both leader effect and some of the cards in deck do that. This is more of the same old, same old. They're going to keep popping out stuff. We got Gedatsu to blow up this board. We'll probably kill the blocker. I don't mind getting rid of Shura here. I feel like we've got better things to do. We want to keep our life totals relatively high for when we get to the Yamato turn. Would be cute. I think we'll use later to build up board. We're getting to the point where I don't mind swinging this for 7, this for 5. Let's just go 5 here. See if they block. They do have less Dawn, though. I actually misread this. Yeah, that's okay. We done goofed. But we'll go ahead and attack here for 7. Probably should have Gedatsu'd first. Well, I forget if this deck lets you utilize your grave to some extent, but we'll figure that out later. We'll get rid of the blocker this go around. That's okay. Still doing good. Still doing good despite the mess up. I should have, like, you know what's funny? I read the card and I saw them do all the little tricks with the Vinsmoke characters, like negging Dawn and stuff. And I didn't really think, like, I was like, oh, we could swing into this. I totally forgot that he had 6k power. Okay. Once per turn when you... Okay. Do we get another Reiju? Probably. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's no... again, they're always going to have a flush hand. And it's rarely ever you see them play one of these things without activating it immediately. It's not like... It's not like other lists where you're going to try to get value out of that thing before you activate it. You're generally... okay. I don't know. It's interesting. I feel like you're going to try to swing into this, potentially. Again, I want to keep my life total relatively high, but I don't mind taking some damage. I'll get rid of the now. Get rid of the Nami. Right? Oh, I'll take this. This is a playable 2K? Sure. I don't want to get rid of Yamato or Enel, but we'll do that. That seems good. We definitely just want more bodies to hit them with. Right now, Lin looks better. because we don't mind a Nell to just be thrown out later. So why don't we try this? This is a 6K right now, right? Should be. We'll do Gadatsu. We're going to keep going for life. We need to get them to a point where Kikunojo gives us life gain. So we just need to make sure that we get them down to a point where we can... Well, I want to swing Satori. We can dawn up one thing. Right? Let's go dawn up here. I want to swing Satori into this. I was contemplating going one Dawn into Kikunojo to swing 2 over on Vinsmoke Reiju. But we can just swing Kikunojo here. Okay. Let's just see what they do with this. Generally, you trash life, but happy to see this. We'll go again at... We haven't seen a 2K from their hand, but we'll go again at the Vinsmoke Reiju. They seem to be attacking my leader pretty fiercely, so I kind of want to... You know, if they do that again, I kind of want to get her to the point where she's 2 or lower life. That's why I allocated the Dawn here. It could help on combat maths this turn, depending on how they attack. But based off of what they just did, I'm not really sure like they're going to even go that way. There's like a 7 cost or a 5 cost. There's like a bigger thing to do with the, I think there's like a Yanji. It might be in his grave. Just trying to look into the grave. Let me see here. This guy, Niji. I forget how you can cheat out the Niji, but there's a bunch of cute little combos you can do in this deck that are fun to see. They're kind of blitzing at us with low values, though, so I'm happy to see that. There you go. You may play a Vinsmoke Niji from your hand or trash. They've got the 1 in the trash, so yeah, that's the way you cheat it out. To hand, you say? They've got a lot of attacks on us. Right now, they can go vanilla to kill this a bunch of different ways, so let's just allow this to happen. They can't kill Gadatsu like this, though, so I'm pretty happy with that. We're going to take some of this, and it's better to just start early. Exactly. We'll use this to stop that from attacking. Swing at me with your blocker. Swing at me with your blocker, why don't you? Exactly. Okay, so there's some cool things we can do here. We clearly want to go Yamato. We can do Yamato to kill this thing. It's a 5 for 6. It's not really the best option, but it's one of their strongest value things on the board right now. Excuse me. I like going Yamato here to kill the 5 for 6, and then we can just swing vanilla into these blockers. But let's just go do that first. So we've got 1 Dawn to play with. Might as well put it on Gadatsu. Go right into that. If he blocks and uses a 2K, then we can use Yamato to remove the other blocker, which will let us get, free up a potential attack into Reiju. Right? I think they just need to let this go, honestly. Because I don't know. I don't know what their top end's gonna look like, but we'll see. We're really just trying to go for board at this point. There we go. Let's see here. We've only got 9 Dawn to play with. It feels bad knowing that Yamato has no good attacks, but let's see if they block here. Again, I don't really mind leaving this 5 for 6K. And like the amount of blockers, I think we'll be able to get rid of them later. We could even just do 2 Kikunojos. Is that weird? I don't really mind doing that. At least it would free up our hand of like these no-K counters. But I think the Yamato makes a good deal of sense here. Let's just go Yamato out. I guess one of these blockers. None of them really feel great. They're always going to be 6K. They're always going to be 6k. So they're basically the same as this. Yeah, it's sad that we don't have 1 or less life. That's fine. There's no reason we shouldn't attack. Maybe they forget they have a 6k blocker. But yeah, Yamato's good. I think, you know what, it might have behooved us to wait on the Yamato, but it's all right. Again, the Kikunojos are going to be really potent later. I feel like I should have just Kikunojo'd out, and then that would have given us another Dawn to swing a 6k. Is what it is. You may discard a card in the rest of the stage. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck, reveal a German card, put in your hand, send the remaining to the bottom of your deck anywhere. Okay. Cool. 7 cost with Rush. Yeah, there you go. Get it. Get it. Then if you have less Dawn on the field, then your opponent, give your opponent's characters negative 2,000 power, and this character gains Rush. Cool. So, no blockers for this. Oh god. My computer's doing that thing again where it won't let me, like, hit the button. Hopefully this changes. If not, then we're gonna have to call this quits. Sorry, boys. Oh no. Oh no. Does anyone else have this issue with OPTCG Sim? Because it's been very prevalent with me recently. I've got no blocker. I've got no counters. They'll probably concede in a second or quit if we're not allowed to do this. I feel good on the crackback though. Like, we've got a lot of power on board. I really want this to go through though. It might be something on their end. It says attacking. Yeah, it's not letting me get out of the blocker step, sadly. All right. All right. This stream might end early. I might have to stop doing these One Piece streams if the OPTCG sim just doesn't work. Oh, it's not even letting me hit report a bug. I wonder what's up. It's completely frozen. Like, it's not letting me communicate with my opponent. Yeah. All right. So that was a bad attack, clearly. I think they're aware of that. I was not trying to taunt them. I was not trying to taunt them by having it stuck there. Just OPTCG Sim just keeps doing this to me. So we might have to end the build here. But that was going well for us. I didn't actually ever get to use Yamato's later ability of having less life than my opponent. It might have made sense to go Kikunojo on the previous turn, but let me do this. I'm going to reset OPTCG Sim to see if we can't get it to work for us, but if it can't, then we'll just have to end the stream, boys and girls. But yeah, let me know if you playtest this list or if you have your own version of Yamato, Starter 09 Yamato, because I'd be curious to see how it's functioning for you. Let me make sure that everything that's drawing system use is dead or done. Okay. Okay, One Piece. We're gonna do this. Do this. You get to see the inner workings of OBS. Okay, let's try this one more time. Starter Yamato. Fingers crossed. Yeah, let me know if you're having issues with One Piece Sim right now. As it stands, we tried to run some games previously, like a day or two ago, and the sim just kept crashing on me. I don't know why. It's not my internet connection. Shouldn't be my computer. This is a good starting hand. We're off play, however, but it's keepable. We've got the Holy set up, which is really nice. I might just play Holy out. Or just Dawn up and smack face. I don't know, they can run an event. That'd be cute. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah? Are we doing this? Okay. Cool. That was a lot of cards. I guess they've got like a draw build going or something, and they're just chill with like losing hand. But we were doing really well. I just want to say, I feel like we were doing really well against that other deck. Who was the leader we were playing against? Ah, this is such a weird... I don't know what's going on. This is such a weird build. All right, well, we're going to attack into this because we got to. We don't have a Gadatsu to dick around with. So, yeah, we might as well just go... Doesn't really matter. But we'll allocate the Dawn just because. Yeah, we're doing really good against that other build. Reiju. We were doing really good against Reiju there. I'm surprised. No Holy, so we're not going to draw any. We're going to leave the 2Ks on top. That's okay. Yeah, return those cards. I'll play out Holy. We'll pass. You know, it would have been better if we saw Holy, but que sera. What's really cool is that we have a Nell on curve. Like, I really like where we're heading here. No, I'm gonna make you commit some of these blockers attacking. Stage 5 or less. All right. You know what's funny? Like, it only kills rested characters that are 5 or less. So if we just wait for this to leave, then we're in a good spot. And frankly, with a Nell in our hand, like, I'm pretty chill. Like, doing a Nell now, swinging hard. I wish we had a blocker to keep it around. It might actually serve us better to just do Lin instead of a Nell here. I don't know. I'm kind of excited to play a Nell. Let's go Lin though. Lin makes a little bit more sense. And we'll let them build up their Dawn base. They're going to be at 8, and then they're going to be at 10 pretty soon. So we can just wait and let this thing die out. I'm totally fine with letting the Birdcage die out. Birdcage loses its effectiveness like late game unless you're just trying to KO a board that's swung at you, which we can do. Anything that he does now, we're just gonna have to take, especially this. So I've got 6 and they've got 3. We should be able to kill this Eustace kid actually in a second. There's where all the holies are. Cool. All right, so the perks of going first. So we're just gonna start, I think, by crushing this, and then I'll swing an 8K. We've actually got some decent counter power here, so we'll be able to keep like this alive, especially because they don't have the 7-cost kit anymore. I've not seen a Doflamingo, this specific green-purple Doflamingo in OP06 yet, so this is gonna be fun. This is not a bad blocker by himself. You generally don't see Shachi Penguin. Like, that's not what people typically do. We don't have... I mean, honestly, I'm okay letting Lin die, but I could keep Lin alive. Would that be silly to, like, keep her alive? Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Oh, man, I just want to do it just to piss them off, though. Nah, we'll let it die. I think the birdcage goes bye-bye here? No? They're only at... Okay, whatever. Let's go. Let's do, I don't know. Let's do Yamato. Let's attack. I wish I had a Gadatsu to just, like, kill some of these things. Let's just keep dropping big bodies. Why not? Let's do 1, 2, 3. We'll attack 8 into you. 8, because this is going to force their... Yeah, exactly. It's going to force that event. You know, I should have expected that, though, actually. I don't know why I didn't run. I was expecting a Punk Gibson, but I didn't think to swing this first. That's okay. At least that dies and I keep the Holy. We're going to do a Nell now. And a Nell will attack first. You can lose your blockers. They're trying to keep as much life as possible, which is interesting, but it's not very good against, like, this Yamato. Cool. This should be their 10 Dawn turn, right? I didn't see them, like, negate Dawn. Oh, it was the kid. I totally forgot. Yeah, they did negate Dawn. I don't know. I feel like we're in a good spot. They don't really have any trigger playables. They're just going to draw value. If they've got 10 cost Kaido, 10 cost Doflamingo, now would be the time they do. This is largely symbolic because it will die momentarily, but maybe they have other plays for me. I don't really care that that dies. You'd play 10 cost Doflamingo here to save you. Or this Luffy. My god. Never mind. I haven't... This is a very interesting build. It actually pairs really well with Birdcage, though. How about that? That's actually kind of funny. So either way, it wouldn't have mattered because I wouldn't have been able to untap him, I guess. This Luffy is going to be a pain. I'm liking what this deck is doing, though. We really need to get some attacks in. We're going to have to let this die. And it will definitely die. We don't have the counter power. We've got 2, 4, 5k power. So yeah, that's gone. Good bit of news is that they're really low on hand, so I could probably kill this Luffy. Like, if I just dawn her up quite a bit, I think I could murk this Luffy. And then we could swing... We could swing Holy at this point. Like, there's no sense in just leaving him on the board. Reveals Repel? I don't remember what these cards do. I think Repel bounces something to my hand. I don't really recall. Gadatsu. Okay. Let's just, yeah, here. Let's force this Repel or whatever. I don't know. I want to dawn up Yamato and kill this Luffy, though, and then they're kind of left stranded. Like, I'm happy to commit however much, and I'm not trying to think too hard here on, like, what their potential counters can be. There's, like, a 3... I should really... I don't know. I don't know what counters they're running. This could bite us in the ass, though, if we don't go high enough with Yamato, so... again, this is maybe where it was pertinent for us to have blockers, but let's go 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I do 7 on Yamato, that makes her 16k. Yeah, this is good. He might think I'm running out another Enel. I don't know. I hope that's the case. Yeah. All right, so they're going to try to keep their Luffy alive, which is fine, because I think it's going to cause them to leak their whole hand. So I'm cool with that. So it's just really right now, it's just a two cost event and then another 2 cost event, I guess. There you go. Let's see here. The Holy's not going to untap, sadly. I'm keeping Gadatsu, or I guess I was keeping Gadatsu to remove a blocker, but really right now we just need more big bodies to get around this birdcage. Obviously, you know, this Luffy's kind of a pain. Do we have the counter power for this? 2, 4, 6? I think we do, right? I would rather keep the Yamato at this point, because if he only swings 8k at me, it's not going to be enough. So sure, we'll do this. We'll do Onami. Okay. Again, the game is glitching a little bit, so hopefully we can get through this game. Wow. The draw from this guy. Okay. So that's all right. We're going to have to play this. We'll kill that. We'll swing here. I mean, depending on what he does, like if he doesn't block here, he just uses a 2k, I'm happy. I think the truth is we're probably going to keep both these Yamatos open until we have a better play. Like, I'm happy to leave these up. Is this a trigger playable? Like, I don't think it makes sense for us to swing right now. Like, we can take a lot of damage, so I'll take the damage. I would rather get some trigger plays. Hopefully some that are free to play. I think all of our trigger playables or all of our trigger effects have some sort of cost associated with them. I don't know if any of them require us to discard a card from our hand, but they've got some free attacks on us, so, you know, go to town. But this penguin, I just want to find removal for the penguin or a Amuro to tap it down, and then we can go in and kill them. So, but yeah, we're in a good spot here. Despite, you know, having no hand, we're in a decent spot. I feel like we probably could have played out a little differently, but I'm happy. Okay, this is interesting. I don't mind seeing Kid here. All that's relevant again is that we get hit a lot. We get hit a lot and we draw some form of removal. Yeah, sure, the Holy. The Holy's been sort of MIA this whole time, so. Okay. This is weird. They're really biding their time. I'm not going to tap the Yamatos, though, so. Like, they can expect me to do this. Like, I don't really care. Here. You can block with your penguin. You should block with your penguin. This was somewhat strategic. Obviously, I can go 10 exactly. So I can go 10k over their 6k, which is again 4k, right? So it neuters any of the events they might have had, which they didn't. Their hand really sucked at the end there. That's why they played the kid, huh? But yeah, so like 13k with Yamato, our life would have been sick, actually. Reject is exactly what we needed at the top of our deck. Both and Holy, again, were just locked in our life. Great. Hey, this worked. Let's go try again. But that was interesting. With the one blocker remaining, that just, to me, it made sense to just keep these 4k over, and then use Yamato. It was wise of them not to attack, but at the state they were in, we had 5 life. Like, we ended with as much life as we started with, which is not... We never used Yamato to gain life either. It was very weird. Just used it as removal. All right, it seems to be working okay. I'm going to try to get one more game in for you guys. Again, apologies for that first game. Something about OPTCG Sim right now is kind of fucked up on my computer. This is the current version, though. And for some reason, it's not letting me put inputs in. Basic inputs like report a bug or anything else for that matter. We'll keep this. This seems okay. You fell R? You fell R, Doflamingo. We're doing so well. The deck is winning every matchup. It's actually playing okay. Like, I'm kind of impressed. Wow, this is not what we wanted to see. I think we'll take the Gadatsu, though. I mean, I think we just take the Gadatsu from this. Sure. Yeah, we really want the we really want to hit an for our next turn. Maybe we'll pull into it here. Oh, Doflamingo. Oh, I'm so sorry. Thanks for at least having the stream running. That's so stupid. You fell asleep. What about these games would lull you to sleep, you little baby boy? Or girl, I don't know. Sakazuki, though. This is actually a top tier leader. I'm curious to see how this guy is running his list. I see Helmeppo here. So evidently there is a 8 cost Gecko Moria in the list. You generally don't run this Helmeppo unless you have the Gecko Moria combo in your deck. Again, I encourage you to check out the Gecko Moria deck list we've done here on the channel. Oh shit, there you go. I was a little worried there. Again, the sim is fucking up. But yeah, you don't run Helmeppo unless you have that combo. It actually works very good with 8 cost Gecko Moria. Alright, so no 4-drops for this turn, which is really what we didn't want to see. We really wanted to put down either or our girl 4 for 6. Forget her name. Let me see here. I think we just go attack vanilla. Will Shura because we can. I'm just giving him shitty bodies to attack. We actually don't have a hit here, do we? That's fucking insane. All right, good RNG. Well, you know what? I think we're probably done here anyways. Did they take the damage? Yeah, they did. Okay. All right. Cool. You can Rob Lucci this. It's okay. You can Lucci my Shura. Yeah, this was it looked like a good starting hand, but this has not panned out well for us. I forgot whether we kept the Shirahoshi as well. I might even play the Shirahoshi out here. Jeez. I mean, the 2K counter, we haven't seen her yet. We haven't really seen many 2K counters, actually, between these games. Sure. But, I mean, we could counter out of this, right? Right. Get these Gadatsus we're not using. Again, Sim's fucking up, guys. Sorry. Something about 1.2b. I've never had issues with it up until now. But we're probably going to cancel out of this game here. No? There we go. Cool. Oh, give me something to Gadatsu, please. Play a 3-drop that I can Gadatsu, please. You've got no events. Don't waste your turn. Don't be this way. There we go. Thank God. Because otherwise I wouldn't have had shit all to do. So we're going to play out the Gadatsu to kill that thing, but let's go ahead and like get this attack in first. They'll probably take it. Yeah. Okay. Gadatsu. Deploy. Hina. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, no. Oh, we fucked up. We fucked up. That's okay. I even said what I wanted to do. I think the fact that I just want to make sure that this game plays is what I'm doing. So I definitely screwed that up. We're going to get hit by a Hina, though, that we didn't need to get hit by. And that's okay. We do have a way to set up Shirahoshi now, though. That's kind of cute. I don't know if we do that. Because our next turn is going to be 8 Dawn. Yeah, get the Rob Lucci in there. Oh, I deserve that. Yeah, I also deserve that. I will obviously try not to take this damage. Oh my god. It is just the fact that like the game is not running for me right now, I think is really fucking with my brain. Yeah, we're gonna have to cancel out of this. I did want to play test this for you guys, but I'm gonna let you play test starter Yamato for me. How about that? Okay. It won't even let me back out or concede. This is insane. Or at any rate, I'm not salty about fucking up my guy. I actually do. I do want to take this damage. All right, it's not working. Hate to say it, guys. I don't know what to say. It's OPTCG sim. It's on 1.2b. This might not be the. It's still not letting me do anything. This might not be the current version. I'll check after this, but it shouldn't be my computer. Shouldn't be the internet, but this has been a problem recently with this simulator. I might just have to delete it and re-download it for you guys. But hopefully you enjoyed the build today. I think the deck is actually performing really well. Like yellow's in a good spot right now. I would go over the deck again if I could. Let me just cancel out of this whole application. Whoa, the application's not even working anymore. Give me 1 second. I want to pull up the deck list minimally. Go to my activity monitor. Sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. OPTC, yeah, it's not even running anymore. What? Quits. I do want to look over the list, though, just to look at what the list was doing well. Again, you know, there's a lot of RNG with these things. I don't really like referring to random numbers game. There's your luck. Luck is such a component with any TCG, but there's a lot of luck in these builds, especially with yellow. This is dead. We're gonna go here. I do want to show you guys the list again, though. Okay. Wow. Frustrating. Sorry I can't get more gameplay for you guys. I think the deck makeup makes sense, though. I don't know that we need the Shirahoshi, genuinely. Like, we were doing pretty good without it. Linlin's fantastic. I almost feel like we could add a 4th Linlin. And that's about it. If there's any other searchers that are relevant, let me know. We missed with Shura, but we've got a high count of Skypea. Let me check. Oops, Skypea. Sky Island. We have 4. We've got 4, 8, 12, 16, 19. 19. We've got 19 Sky Island. I might take the Shirahoshi out and add some searchable cards from Sky Island. It could be another 2K counter, or it could just be I don't know, we really don't need anything else. I would say anything over 16 is a good number for searchers. I try to keep at least that high. We don't really need blockers for this list, I don't think. We're definitely the aggressor when it comes to this build. I'm honestly happy to put like just her as a potential 2K, right? So pad out our 2K lines, excuse me, and then do another Lin. There's no good, well, you know what, actually that's a lie. I'm gonna do this. There were plenty of times where this would have been a playable event. So I'll add our 2-0 cost events to make use of any no K counters or 1K counters, convert them into 3s so we can 2-for-1 better this way. That seems good to me. I would say that this list is pretty solid. I, again, hate that we can't play test this. I'm going to figure out what's up with Sim. Again, I was all this morning using Sim to figure out this issue, and I got it working, but fuck, I really do want to play this list for you guys, like through a full game. Here, let's try one more time. I'm anxious. I'm hungry. Because it's actually performing decently. Like, I'm actually really enjoying this build. Not this hand. Okay. This hand is better. Yeah, there you go. Just testing the inputs. All the inputs are working. We definitely want to be off play, I'll say, for Yamato, but a majority of the meta would prefer to be off play, frankly. There's a lot of good 4-drops in the game right now, but there is an advantage to going... There is an advantage to going first, though. There still is an inherent advantage. Yeah, everything's working. Let's go ahead and attack. The Perona builds that you're going to see in OP06 leverage a Don Quixote Pirates package because 10 cost Doflamingo is a freaking bomb. So get ready for that, which I don't know if I'm necessarily ready for. I think we go Holy here. We just want another body to swing next turn. They're going to be able to tap it down and kill it with the swordsman. It's whatever. You kind of have to suffer that. But that's their turn, and we kind of have that expectation, right? So 4-for-6 cost, I forget the name of it, but it's the swordsman from the Thriller Bark arc. It's going to come in and kill this guy. If, you want to get a counter out of my hand first? Nah, you can play your swordsman. Go for it. Well, actually, this does free them up to play baby. They could, yeah, exactly. They could do other things. That's kind of cool. They had options there. We're going to kill the shit out of baby, though, unless there's a blocker. So I feel okay about this. Yeah, okay. Oh, wow. All right. we got hit. Double trouble there. I still think we just ram Yamato that direction, and that's fine. And then we play... we don't have Gadatsu, clearly. So we can do Holy and just go... Fucking six. Let's go. Yeah, you're gonna get rid of Rocinante. That's fine. Right. Okay. Hopefully we get another Holy to dick around with. We did not, but that's okay. We're gonna put this way. Again, this really doesn't matter. We're not gonna get down there, but if it did. Yeah, Perona's, there you go. Do it this time. Don't just pretend. We're not at the point where Alm is 6k power. Oh, okay. I'm honestly still okay letting him die. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna have to be fine. God, I wish we were closer to Yamato. These babies staying alive are a pain in the ass, though. But what we're seeing is actually close to the package I'm gonna play for you guys soon. It's a Navy mix, pretty much, with Don Quixote Pirates. Like, that's sort of the way to go right now. You will use 8 cost Gecko Moria in this build. There's a lot of cool things you can do with it, though. But yeah, we're going to try to remove some of their board. We did not pull any of our Gadatsu, sadly. I think the thing to do here would just be to Shura and cross our fingers for Gadatsu. That would be amazing. And of fucking course not. We've got a now, though, I guess. We can use Reject to kill a 5 or lower cost character. Yeah, sure. Let's just reject. Let's reject this blocker. I mean, we need to get rid of the babies. This is such a big part of the package, and the fact that they've had these alive this long is kind of unbalanced. So we need to remove that shit and get them to... They're going to keep working on our board. Again, they're on the 8-cost Gecko Moria turn, so they've got plenty to do here. If they bring back baby, they're going to definitely leave it, I guess, upright. We'll see. It's kind of a weird play, though. I don't... Their grave kind of sucks at this point, so... They're definitely going to bring back baby. I know that much. You're just going to get a free kill on Shura? Is that what's happening? That's not bad. Why not? I will allow it. But Yamato is going to be cool next turn. Kill a brand new. There you go. So this is part of that package I was referring to. It's a Navy mix, and you'll notice that that blocker... This is a really good blocker, by the way, from OP05. But you'll notice that he is a 2-cost. So this plays out really well with that Gecko Moria I've been referring to. He also happens to be Navy and Don Quixote Pirates, so... Well, there's Gadatsu. Very cool. We're gonna use... Let's not fuck this up again. We're gonna use this now, and then we're gonna kill that and attack. It's fine. We've got another Yamato. We haven't taken any damage this game, so... We'll see. This has been a very weird game. They've got card advantage over us, sadly, but seeing as we have like plenty of power here, I feel pretty good. It's important to note that, again, Ryuma could be brought out with Gecko Moria. There it is right there. How did that hit their grave, though? Did I miss that? I don't really see that hit their grave, but that's okay. Oh, with brand new. Oh, that's so funny. I hope they didn't need it. Actually, I hope they really needed it. Go for it. Go for it. Go for it. Tap it down. Did you really blow your whole hand to do this Ryuma play? No way. Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad because I'm about to play another Yamato if this is what you're doing. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. You know what? Screw it. Like Gadatsu, you came a little too late. I mean, I could use Gadatsu later. Has really failed me though this game. So I feel kind of fine going, let's do, player Ryuta, whatever the hell his name is, Ryuma, play Ryuma. No, 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 no. Play Ryuma. Play Ryuma. That's what you're gonna do. There we go. We got Gadatsu for days. We're going to blow up a fucking board. Hold up. We can do 2 Gadatsus and save the Yamato. That's even funnier. Hold up. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. Well, the thing is, it needs to be rested for Ryuma to do anything. So just playing Gadatsu right now is actually kind of funny. Yes, it would make more sense to like have a 9k body next turn. But I think this is just really fun for punishing them. They're able to tap down one of these Gadatsus and attack into it later. And, you know, I'm fine with that. It's a good distraction. Sure. We'll do that. They should draw here. They should take a life here. But we'll see. I really want to save Yamato to where she's more impactful. Like, I would like to get a better kill off. So I want to see them drop something more meaningful for us. Unfortunately, you know, we're going to have to take damage. So it'll be a potential kill on an 8-drop Gecko Moria, actually. You know, because it's you and your opponent's life totals. So if they do Gecko Moria here and they swing at me, okay, so I go down to sure, I go down to 8, right? So I see Gecko Moria, cool. I'll be able to kill the Gecko, and then they'll get a Borsalino. Okay, so get your blocker Borsalino and your, there we go, and Rocinante. Very cool. So you know, that's like a fine pairing to bring back from the dead, but we're in a really good spot here. We're able to, I'm glad I saved the Yamato, so we're just going to murk the boop, and then we'll swing 6, because we need to swing 6 right here. 6 specifically because it's Borsalino. Yeah, we're going to just keep swinging. I don't care that we kill this Rocinante. I don't think they will either, so we'll see. I just want to get rid of the combo play cards, right? And not give them too many more. draws. There's no reason for us not to swing again. These will get tapped down regardless because of her ability. Well, actually, that's not true. They're going to have to put in a little work. I forgot it was 4 or less. Whoops. And he's a 5. Yeah, that's right. Swing your Borsellino. Swing it! You know what's really weird? I didn't expect us to do this well. Again, I do play a Perona. She is really good. It's very similar to this. They really need their 10 cost Doflamingo. It's probably in hand, like what I'm gauging from this play. Because what they're going to do is 10 cost Doflamingo, right? So we should just do this. They'll 10 cost Doflamingo, and they will tap these things down. So the good bit of news is that we can still swing in Yamato. Okay, so very, very predictable turn. They'll take Yamato damage, potentially. They probably took that life just to find this, if we're being frank. Do I want to put this on top of my deck? Probably not. Let's just go here. Let them just determine what they want to do with their life. They'll probably give us life. And what we could do is swing with Yamato. I don't mind swinging with Yamato here. There's no reason we need to keep this Dawn open. No, not really. So I'll do this. I'll do this. I'll do this. If they have more than if they go like, I'm trying to taunt them a little bit here, but if they do block with Borsellino and they have like the 3-for-1, I'm okay. Exactly. I'm okay with them doing that. If they have another Doflamingo, then we're kind of fucked. So this is where it gets bad for us with Perona. The babies really helped you get to that end state. Obviously it's 10 cost for Doflamingo, so you want to try to get those early before you get to your end state. You will have to take hits ultimately, but once you get there, if you're able to chain, which they're, thank God, like not able to, if you're able to chain a bunch of Doflamingos, it is a pain in the ass. They probably have the removal for these Gadatsus. I obviously can't do anything to save this, so what's going to happen? We're doing okay, though. They might have another 8-cost Gecko. That would be pretty sick, actually. That would be a good play, too. Locking up my board is fine, but removing it's even better. I'm shy on hand. I need to take damage soon. Hopefully we just top deck like gold and, you know, remove their shit. We'll see. I think they undercommitted, and I will make them suffer for that. Go 8-cost Gecko more, yeah. And again, I think it's going to be Borsellino in Rocinante again. I don't think there's any reason not to do that. Oh, thank God. Thank God this is the play. This is good for us. They definitely need a blocker. They definitely have a blocker. That's good for them. Oh, Lin. Oh, Lin. Sure. So we've got plays. So, you know, I would like to remove Doflamingo. I really would, but I don't think we're in a state where we could do that. I'm happy to go 2-for-1 on Perona first. Let's see if they use their blocker. Okay. I'm happy to go again, 2-for-1. If anything, I'll be satisfied if we get them to a state where like they have to block. Okay. That's okay. We'll do this. She's gonna kill the Borsellino, by the way. Well, you know, we have an interesting opportunity here. We're gonna gain life in just a second, like without a doubt. We could technically kill this Doflamingo if we really wanted to, and then have nothing else to do with our turn. We're gonna get murked, though, is what's gonna happen. We're definitely gonna get murked here. I think it's probably better to take advantage of this potential attack and get rid of this blocker. Let's try this. You're gonna give me another life. I'm actually really okay with this. Like, if it's a war of attrition, we're gonna win, frankly, with yellow. Yellow's just better at attrition. But we are in a bad spot, technically. Like, the Kuzan with Perona's effect is really, really good. Kuzan's really good in today's meta, really because it combos with Gecko Moria very well, right? It's going to be the 4-drop. Go for it. No, sorry guys. Yeah, it's frozen again. I'm sorry. I really wanted to play a full game for you guys. You know what's funny though? Like, it won't even let me chat with the person though. Like, I just want to say, hey, give me a second. I'm so sorry, guys. Well, thanks for sticking around to play test this with me. I'm going to just click on this like mad to see if I can get it to work. Obviously, this attack goes through. I don't have any cards in hand. It's working. You just click it enough times and it works. I really need to report this bug. This has been really bad and very frustrating for playtesting purposes. Okay, go for it. I want to conclude this game though. I feel like we're in a decent spot. Get your kill with Doflamingo on my Big Mom. Get your kill with Doflamingo on my Big Mom. If they don't have a blocker for me, then we win the game. Oh, nope, they can tap me down and potentially kill me with a Suru. Oh, are they gonna dawn up their Suru? Okay, I really want to see this, boys. I want to see this so bad. Oh, thank God. Okay, use the ability. I don't... She only had, oh, she was down to 2. She was down to 2. Okay. Let's see what we pull. This is interesting. Okay, Gadatsu. It's the equal to your opponent's life, mind you. So, like, we've got nothing to do with Gadatsu here, but that's okay. I think that we just go ham. We're going to play the Gadatsu anyways, right? They've got a good combo built out. Sure. So there's really nothing we can do. I wish they had one more life so that we could have murked the Rocinante, obviously. We've murked them at Rocinante, we would kill Doflamingo here. But that's not a possibility, sadly. So we just need to do this. They might take the draw just because they're in a good spot. Sure. None of this matters. It might have been better just to keep it in hand, but it does give them a distraction. We're going to be able to gain some life, draw some cards, and hopefully play through the rest of this game. Again, apologies for the sim right now. I didn't design it. It's just acting really funny for me. I would love to be able to play games flawlessly on the interwebs for you guys, but it's just not. It's just not going to be a thing. We might have to do webcam games again. Although it would be very hard to assemble these decks like with webcam. I think we win this still. If I'm going to be honest with you, I think we win this still. Like if we just get the removal for blockers here and just attack, I think we win this. God, I'm trying to resolve this. It's just not doing it. I'll definitely need to report a bug as soon as I get an opportunity. But I'm so impressed by this little list right now. Like, Yamato we don't think we've in any of our games had the opportunity to even use Yamato's ability yet. Jeez Louise, dude. I really want to conclude this game, Perona. I promise. But Perona's been really strong overseas. Like, I'm actually impressed with how well she's been performing. And I actually love how my list performs. All right, guys, I think that's it. Wow. We've gotten some really interesting starts. We went all the way up to turn 10, and then the sim crapped out on me. Let me know if you guys are having this issue as well, if you found a resolution for it. I'm just going to remove it from I think it's just completely frozen right now. I'm going to remove it from my computer and try re-downloading it. But we can talk about the list again. I was so anxious to play through this because it was performing so well. That's okay. It's going to have to be okay. All right, guys. It won't even let me exit out of it. Yo, what's up? I'm playing yellow Yamato in OP05. Do you like the yellow-green Yamato? So, Daniel, I've actually not played that Yamato. When the set was spoiled, OP06, when the set was spoiled, I looked over that Yamato. That was like the thing that appealed to me the most, to be frank. And it's been fun to play against. I just haven't had any personal interest to build it. So I haven't played it yet. So I can't really give a good judgment call there. I can say that it's operating more or less like you'd expect it to. Even swinging 5k with the threat of double attack is just obnoxious. Like you kind of have to drop hand to make sure that doesn't occur. And as soon as it does occur, all of the best effects open up in that deck, right? So the 4 for 6 girl that you gain a life if they have 3 or less life, amazing. And then you also have Denjiro that's you can start giving Dawn onto, make him KO proof. And you just have this really amazing body. You've got really cool packages in green yellow right now. And I mean right now being OP06. So I like it a lot. I haven't played it yet though, but that's something we should definitely play. There's one thing I wanted to leave you guys with though, and I mean, more or less relevant depending on whether the sim works or not. So frustrating. We can talk through some of those games though, what we were seeing and what we did. If you want to see a particular build on the channel, like a green-yellow Yamato, that's something we can do. Whether we'll be able to play it or not, well, I don't really know, frankly. Again, I have newest MacBook, nation's fastest internet. I have tried everything I could with Sim to get it running. Just this current version, it's really hinky. I will try re-downloading it again though. Yeah, I'm debating switching from yellow Yamato to yellow green or just updating my yellow Yamato deck in OP06. Daniel, you know, it's funny, we never got to the point where we were actively using yellow Yamato's ability. It just never got to the point where we were able to leverage her 2 or less life, you're 6k powerful. It would have that previous game, we just never got to a point where we could test it. I think we would have won though. They had no blockers. So at the end, it was really just swinging vanilla into them. And then we had 6 life or 5 life at that point. They could have swung everything at us, but they were being so cautious and apprehensive because they knew that our life was probably littered with removal effects, which it likely was. So whenever they did find that mystical magical blocker, they would have been fucked. So I think we had that last game against Perona. I'm pretty sure. I can say that starter yellow Yamato is actually quite good. She's really, really good. And that's really more on the strength of yellow right now. Like, I'm super impressed with how good yellow is in this game. I kind of want to make a yellow list now. And it could be starter Yamato. Like, I was thoroughly enjoying that experience. I will state, though, that I think you are probably better off switching to green yellow Yamato. I think you're going to leverage her effects just more. You know, being able to play on curve, attack more aggressively with your characters by allocating Rested Dawn, having double attack in your leader spot. It's amazing. I think that's probably something we should do next. But I'm going to pre-record some games for you guys with Perona. I do want to showcase that list. It is quite good. That matchup was interesting. Again, the build is more or less what I use, so, you know, the expectation of certain cards are all there, but it's a really good list in OP06. I think that I prefer Gecko Moria, though, as a leader, and I still really like Sakazuki, and I think I might like Yamato as well. I'm kind of stoked to try her out. But guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, apologies for the issues with Sim. This happened last time we were doing Sim, and it's very frustrating for me, especially because I like to play through these games and see them played out entirely. But that's okay. We'll figure this out hopefully in the future. If you did enjoy it though, I highly encourage you to leave this video with a like. The conversations here are probably the most important part. I think the theory crafting, understanding play lines, all of that is the most important aspect of this game. When to attack, when not to attack. I make mistakes all the time. We certainly made mistakes these games, but I was kind of impressed that despite my mistakes, like, the deck really stood on its own. And again, that was more based off of the strength of yellow right now. So I guess I'm going to buy an AA and L. I'm not going to buy any 8-cost Katakuris, but I will buy an AA and L. Perona looks fun. She is super fun. Daniel, thanks for joining at the end there. Thank you guys for watching, if you watched all the way through. I'll leave timestamps for this one, and I'll leave it up, but, you know, I couldn't get any gameplay in. We went 0-0. How about that? Just tied with everyone. Guys, I'll see you on the next one, though. Damn. OPTCG Sim. Killing me.